Hello everyone, it's Bob Butera with Lesson 2 of our Fall Meditation course. Stepping back to review Lesson 1, I want to reaffirm the power of relaxation and deep breathing as essential, if you will, fundamental keys for quieting the mind. Now, I intentionally use the phrase quieting the mind instead of meditation. And I think it's really helpful, and one of the messages that I hope everyone can really understand deeply, that meditation is merely an exercise to quiet the mind. It might do us more good to think about ways of quieting our mind than techniques of meditation. Again, this is a very simple thought, but since everyone looks and somewhat reveres the meditative stance, we think that's the meditation, and it's a whole variety of things. And because meditation is not something that's found in Western culture aside from monastic religious groups, there's not an understanding of what if you will, culturally is encompassing someone who wants to meditate. And with that, we lead into Lesson 2, that the daily stress that you face completely counters any sense of meditation or quieting the mind. So this week I want you to really focus not on what stresses you or how you can feel or how you can get rid of the stress, but why are you particularly annoyed by something. The fundamental point, and I'm going to use an object here to make my point. If I hold up this pen, and hopefully you guys see this pen. Now, if this pen represents my stress, it could be the traffic, it could be a busy time at dinner with the children behaving or not behaving when they go to sleep, it could be your boss. Think of a couple stresses as the lesson requests. Now notice that they are neutral things. The pen, if we look at it here, it's just the pen. So I'll put it down. The traffic is the traffic. The teaching in yoga is that stressful situations become stressful within us. The situation itself is technically neutral. Not everyone is stressed out in traffic. Not everyone gets stressed out by noisy kids or their boss or what have you. There are ways around this. What we want you to discover is the essential, if you will, the essence or the essential point on why you're getting stressed from a specific situation. Now, I realize that this is a very difficult thing. I'm not trying to in any way make this sound easy. I'm not trying to be one of the people in the media that makes spirituality sound really simple. Anybody who greets a person one-on-one, the psychologist that deals with their client working on an issue, will let you know that focusing and facing your stress is no easy task. So what we're doing here is starting a process, and we're first taking responsibility for the stress ourselves, and then we're trying to come up with understanding what it is about that situation in us that's causing us to not like the traffic. Well, I don't like the traffic because it's in my way. It's in my way because I want to be somewhere else. I'm not happy where I am. Bam! You go deep within yourself and you come up with a statement that says, I'm not happy where I am. And suddenly you have a profound point that has no relationship to traffic anymore, because you'll have that issue in your life over time. Then what we want to do with that issue is focus on a corresponding positive point that will replace the stressful pattern with something of a more spiritual nature, if you will, something of a more meditative nature or a true nature. So I could be in the traffic, I could acknowledge that I don't want to be there, and then I could say to myself, well, I actually chose to be here. Why did I choose to be here? Because I have a commitment to going to where I'm going, and I commit to being and visiting my friend who's sick, so it's worth sitting in the traffic. So I choose to be here because of my commitment. So now the traffic is a minor hurdle to my commitment to loving my friend, so I go back to loving my friend. Suddenly, my brain waves stop feeling stressed. They get very peaceful. In fact, I feel renewed, I feel empowered. Then, after that drive, I could sit down and meditate. So this practice this week, again, may not seem like you're meditating directly, but you will in the future, or in your basic quiet time, notice a huge difference if you can follow this exercise and make some headway. And I trust that you will. Most people have profound insights when they start to think about this psychological piece, about how to use a stress to find a spiritual principle that can guide their lives. That's pretty much my time limit, I think, on this deep topic that you're going to go into in class. But read it over and think about the examples so that you come to class ready to go. Looking forward to a great lesson 2.